Andrew, and I will balance the scales.
Well, actually, this just won't take long. If you don't mind the powder dusty, this exchange won't take very long, and I'll be out of your guys' hair. Ken, I just had a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind humoring me. Nice to meet you, by the way. My name is Andrew Wilson. I just wanted to ask you, are you aware that in early 1900s America, the age of consent was extremely low, around 15, 16, and women often got married at that age?
I'm vaguely aware. Yeah.
Would you consider that PDF-philia or something akin to PDF-philia?
I honestly haven't given much thought to the.
Well, do you think it's wrong? Do you think it's wrong?
By today's social mores, yeah.
Do you think it's wrong?
Yeah, by today's social mores.
Okay,
yes.
so you think it's wrong. Where else would you have preferred to have lived?
In the 1900s?
Yeah.
Probably here.
Oh, okay. So then that means you support PDF-philia.
No,
right?
I think social mores change over time.
No, you have to. No, you have to support PDF-philia, just like Jim Bob has to support feminism because he wants to live here, right, Dunce?
No. Social.
Isn't that the case?
Over time, and
social norms change over time.
Sure, you don't think social norms change over time?
Of course they do, but the point is your argument. So let me give you the argument. Your argument is Jim Bob and Jake would prefer to live here in the United States, even though there's feminism. Thus, feminism must be good. If that is the case, and you would have preferred to have lived here in the early 1900s when people were PDF files, that hence means PDF-philia is good, right?
But they would prefer to live in literally any country, not just the U.S.
Wait,
feminism.
What?
Because it makes those societies stronger. They're just not
willing to admit it. PDF-philia makes society stronger, right?
No, feminism does.
Pedophilia
was never the
argument. The argument is that feminism
feminism makes society stronger.
Right, but hey, you don't have much time, and you don't have much time, so I'll just make this pretty quick.
Experience that. So
if it is the case, I need you to understand your logic here. Here's your premise. Jim Bob and Jake must support feminism, or at least think that the countries that have feminism are really good due to feminism, right? Because they would prefer not to live anywhere else.
Not my conjecture.
Stop. Yeah, it was. In fact, I got your argument written down. I wrote it down. I'll read it back to you. Hang on. I'll read it back to you. I wrote it down. Here was your argument. You don't want to live anywhere else. You don't want to live anywhere else, Bob.
Process that they articulated over the course of 2 hours, but their actions actually betray their own arguments.
Yeah, but so do yours. If you don't believe in PDF-philia, but you still would prefer to live in a country which had PDF-philia, therefore PDF-philia must be the thing that you like about the country? No. So then why would you attribute that to Jim Bob or Jake, you dolt? Like, do you understand how bad that logic is?
Because it literally applies to every country in the world that they would have the option.
PDF-philia, bro. So did PDF-philia. What are you talking about? It's the same argument in reverse. I just wanted to point that out, right? Jim Bob, Jake, very nice to watch you guys this evening. But Ken, it was nice to meet you. I don't have any no hard feelings or anything. But I'm just trying to explain to you, the logic of that argument makes no sense. So.
Anything else, guys? This has been a fascinating education in how this world works.
Well, I think that I would say that even though, as far as the premise goes, I agree that I don't think that feminism is beneficial to society. That after listening to Jake and Jim Bob completely blow their side of the argument, I think that they're the feminists.
Wait, what?
What? The ones that are whining about women not having to enroll in the draft.
No, that's testing inconsistency. Dunce, I'll take Andrew. I'm going to start using dunce, Andrew. By the way,
feminists
want? Dunce. You know what testing logical consistency is?
What do
feminists hold on. I think Ken wanted to.
Oh, sorry, Ken.
Are you making an exit, Ken?
Yeah, if that's what this is called, I'm making an exit. Thanks for having me on.
Have a nice day, sir.
Yep, thanks.
Thanks, Ken. Cheers.
You got it. Cheers.
Powder Dusty, dude, do you know the difference between taking a position and testing a position?
So you weren't actually taking that position?
No, I don't think women should go in the draft or in the army at all. I don't think they should vote. I don't think a lot of things about women, but we're testing their logic. It's an internal critique. We say, okay, you want egalitarianism, which feminism essentially is, and then we push Ken and Eurydite in the position where, oh, isn't it interesting that men have this duty to not fight the government when they're tapped for military?
I look way cooler when I'm smoking, by the way.
Two smokers down here.
I just want to point it out. Like, look at the difference.
So no, we're not whining. In fact, feminism is impossible to defend because it's practically impossible. It's logically impossible. So
it just seems like a weird angle to take, that to combat feminism, you would argue for more feminism.
I didn't. Do you understand what we just said?
I understand what you're saying.
Their position
what's the argument for more feminism?
Equality, right? And we go, oh, why isn't there equality here? That's not us saying they should be. We're saying from their view they should be drafted if they really believe there's equality. The reason we did that is because both of them have to admit that the armed forces, the military, the police has to be. It's not just that it happens to be. It has to be predominantly men. That's just a necessary component. If it's the case that the enforcement arm for a society, any good society or a bad society, requires the enforcement of men, it actually is patriarchal. This fiction of feminism is just a luxury illusion. It's just a temporary luxury illusion.
So I got a question then. Why would you choose this approach instead of pointing out the actual issues with feminism?
Those are the issues with feminism.
The issue with feminism is that it's not internally consistent enough?
Well, that's an issue.
That would be the issue with any position, right?
Yeah, but practically there's an issue too. Like women, feminists can't actually defend their own rights. Who's that dude, Andrew? I was going to bring it up, but I didn't need to. Who's the dude from Britain who had premise 4? He actually pointed out how many hundreds of years ago that women don't have the capacity to defend their own rights. Therefore, giving them the vote is actually an inconsistent position. They can't even.
Yeah, I can give you the name. It's 1 second here, Jim Bob. Since you asked so nicely, his name is Lord Cromer.
Lord Cromer.
Yeah, Lord Cromer. Fourth argument against feminism was, quote, from the anti-suffragettes, those who make laws should have the physical force to enforce them, and this women do not possess.
So what is it they do possess that didn't really come up? It came up a little bit. What is this equal trade? If men are happily willing to say, oh, you know what? There's a moment where I'm going to die for my family. Maybe there's a moment I would die for my country. If I consider that some type of obligation in a certain scenario, what is equal for women in that regard? They have nothing. They have nothing. What is it?
Sure, but I don't think that there needs. Since I'm not a feminist, don't think that there needs to be an equal offset.
Okay, I think that's a totally fair position. If you don't think that there needs to be an equal offset, then why the fuck, if men are charged with security, should they continue to do that?
To do what? Provide an offset?
No, to provide security. If there's nothing that they're getting which is of equal value from women.
Well, they are getting something of equal value, I think, which is a protected family. The family is intrinsically valuable. Don't you agree?
Well, I don't understand. Why couldn't men have families and give women no rights?
Just because men are the fighters who defend the family doesn't mean that it doesn't necessitate them giving equal rights.
It doesn't. You're right. It doesn't necessitate them giving
I'm not
women
arguing
equal
for
rights.
Equal rights. Yeah, I'm not arguing for
so
equal
then
rights.
I don't understand what your argument is then. So if the argument here is just, well, wait a second, women don't necessarily have to have an equal offset duty. I would agree. What is the duty to men to protect their rights rather than just like, I don't know, fucking enslave them?
My argument was against equal obligations.
Okay, so then if there's no equal obligation, why shouldn't men just go ahead and enslave women?
All right, we're there.
So nothing? There's no argument? Like, it's just silly.
Yeah, I mean that ends what I was arguing against. Now I can tell you why I wouldn't support enslaving women, because it'd be fucking miserable and you don't need to. Women want to be with men anyways. So why would you?
Well, what would be worth it, Dusty? What would be worth it for women to offer though? If men put their lives on the line and say, you know what,
what would be like a counter duty? Yeah, what would be a counter duty that you could point to that only women could accommodate that men couldn't, in exchange for this protection and security, which men even at the familial home level can provide? Can you think of a single thing only women can do? Can you think what would that be, bro?
Right. Well, I wouldn't say that there's an inherent duty on either person, unless if a man decides to take
There's
a
no
family
inherent
on,
duty for men to do it.
if a man decides to take a family on, then he has an inherent duty that comes with taking on the family.
No,
But a man who's single,
that's not the case. Are you saying that you don't have an inherent duty to protect the infirm and to protect those weaker than yourself as a man?
correct.
You don't?
What about
No.
your own family?
You have no duty to do so?
That's my own family. Once you take on a family, then you have a duty to protect them. I
So
don't have a duty to defend every weak person out there.
Okay, but do you believe that women, though, do gain from the idea that men within the patriarchy, even at the family level, will do everything in their power to protect the infirm, including women? Do you agree that that is a societal standard which is upheld in all Western nations?
There is a societal duty. Society puts upon itself the duty to protect those in most civilizations.